Kessel now a member of the Maple Leafs.
Yes, he is. And earlier this evening, we obtained the rights to Phil Kessel from the Boston Bruins. And I think I'd start by praising Peter Chiarelli. I think Peter Chiarelli's done as good a job as any general manager in our league the last 2 years, and he was very patient and drove a very hard bargain on this. It's a very high price, but it's one that we feel makes sense for us. And I think what's made it possible to expend those picks is two focuses. One is that he's a young player. He's not even 22 yet. He scored 36 goals last year. And second, we think with some of the players we acquired without giving up picks, like the Tyler Bozaks, Slaney, Hansen, Gustafsson, these are players I think that were they available in a draft would command a high price like that. So we feel by stocking the cupboard we can take some of the cans off the shelf for the future. Phil's a dynamic player. I've had him with the U.S. national team. He's got great foot speed. He's a good power play specialist. He's good on the shootout, and he's a solid kid. So for us, it's an important day for the Leafs, and we're very pleased that Phil Kessel's coming to Toronto tomorrow.
What did it take to get Phil to Toronto?
Well, it was a first-round pick and a second-round pick in 2010 in the upcoming draft, and a first-round pick in 2011. So obviously a steep price. Again, Peter Chiarelli driving a hard bargain. That's what good GMs do. But I think a price that we felt we could pay in light of some of the transactions we made in the last 4 months or so.
What does he mean to your right wing when he comes back here healthy come November?
Yeah, and I want our fans to understand that. He's recovering from shoulder surgery. We don't expect to see him for a while. He is skating, but can't take any contact or shoot or anything like that. And so it'll be a while before our fans see him, but I think he brings tremendous foot speed, goal scoring ability, should improve our power play, and again, a little tidbit, but he's a good shootout player, and in our game, that's an important facet.
In terms of getting him and the art of the deal, is this one of the toughest things you've had to go through as a general manager in this league, do you think, Brian?
Well, yeah, because Peter was so dogged about it and so patient and just wouldn't move off the price. So it's taken a long time. It's taken a lot of effort, but I think it's worth it. In my mind, if you look at my history as a general manager, at the end of my first year, I've always tried to make a big deal to shore up my team, and I did it in '93 with Pronger, did it again in 2006 with Pronger, did it in '99 with the Sedins, and now again bringing Phil Kessel aboard. I think it's a statement to our players that we intend to be competitive right away, and I think he gives us a dimension that we need.
He wants to be here as well.
He told me he's walking on air. He said he was, this is a free agent. He could have signed with other teams, wanted to sign with us, and I think it's an important pickup for us.
Is there any concern over the shoulder? Everything should be fine come November?
Yeah, should be fine.
Was the premium, I guess, that you paid one that you expected you'd have to play to get a 21-year-old who scored 36 goals?
Yes, and Boston, because of their success, they're in a situation like I got into in Anaheim. When your team's successful, it generally means you're bumping up against the cap. And that's what made him expendable from their perspective and made him available to us. So it was, again, a very costly deal. But, again, to me, it makes sense for us.
With other teams in play, was the urgency sort of heightened over the last few days to get this done?
Well, our fear, as I told Pete, our fear was that a team that had high expectations would get a key player, have a serious injury early in camp, and jump into this thing. And all of a sudden, the number of teams that were involved it gets more complex, obviously, if there's more teams. So we wanted this done early in the exhibition season, and we shot for today as a deadline, and we got it done.
How much did spending time with him at the USA camp assure you of his personality and how he'd fit in with this team?
A lot, and I've gotten to spend a fair amount of time with him. I'll tell you a story. When we were in the World Championships last year, before we went to Halifax, we had a pre-tournament camp in Portland, Maine. And Jeff Halpern was the captain. He went around to the guys and he said, we arranged a fishing trip off the coast of Portland. And he asked Phil if he wanted to go. And Phil said, well, I get seasick in a bathtub. He said, I have trouble fishing on a lake. And so Halpern said, well, I guess that's a no. He said, no, if the guys are going, I'm going. So he went, puked his guts out, and but did it because it was a team function. And then I got some time with him there, and then this summer, and when people remember his draft year, he was a real shy kid, and he's really come into his own as a person, much more engaging and outgoing. His personality showing through as he gets comfortable with life in the National Hockey League, and I have no question about that at all. And yes, it did help.
Was that speculation maybe unfair to him? There was talk that there were character issues and everything like that with this kid.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I don't pay much attention to that stuff.
Is it a 5-year deal, Brian?
That's a multi-year deal. We don't disclose terms.
And the play of your rookies, obviously in years past, the coverage has been bare here in Toronto. It is no longer. And how these guys have played in camp, and specifically tonight and the other 2 games, really helped clinch the deal as far as you're concerned?
Yes. And in my mind, we were comfortable with that when we first, we put that offer on the table in some fashion a couple of weeks ago. So we were comfortable with these players that we acquired, but they've certainly justified our faith in them the way they've played in camp here.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.